Hey everyone, welcome to this podcast episode where we are going to be talking about creating your first funnels. Now, you will be happy to hear that to create funnels on your website, you don't necessarily need to have a product, and we will be talking about affiliate funnels in this podcast. We will also transition to your own products eventually, but you don't have to do that because I know that is a huge reason why people don't build funnels. Now, the people who I think should follow this podcast are the ones who are already doing well with either affiliate or ads or both, and are looking to diversify their income to protect themselves against, affiliate commission drops or, ad RPMs drops or even Google ranking drops, that kind of stuff. So if you want to diversify, if you want to make your business more stable, this podcast is for you. It's going to be an advanced podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. We don't get to talk about funnels often, but I really like that topic. So let's not tease you further and let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Authority Hacker podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about building your very first sales funnel for building an info product on your site. It is going to be an interesting one. I think a lot of people have figured out affiliate, have figured out advertising, etc., but they kind of struggle adding more monetization methods to their websites, and that is what this podcast is going to be about. We've done that multiple times with Mark. We don't talk as much about funnels as we usually talk about SEO and affiliate and all that stuff. And I'll be honest, it's because you guys click more on the affiliate stuff. And so we just talk more about that, but we are pretty well versed into the funnel stuff. We'll try to share a bit of that today, not with a guest. And we're going to first inquire on how Mark is doing before we get into that, because that's obviously why people came. So Mark?
Obviously, right. I'm doing really good, thanks. The main reason is because finally we got our new authorityhacker.com website launched. So if you go on the website now, you'll notice a few design upgrades and tweaks, and a lot of back-end changes have been made. It runs much faster. It's a dream to work with now compared to before.
I'll be honest, at the time at which we're recording, it doesn't yet pass Core Web Vitals. We have a few things to optimize. So we're going to work on that in the next few weeks. But I mean, the site fully loads in like 1.1 second or something for an average content page. It's pretty good, basically. But it still like has a few things that Google doesn't like. Some files they'd like us to delay, things like that. So we're going to work on that. But yeah, I'm freaking tired from it, to be honest. Because not only did we release the new website, which is pretty cool, and Google, it's funny as well because, we've been talking a lot about Core Web Vitals and site architecture and all these things. And then during all that time, I was like, the Authority Hacker site doesn't really follow these standards. It's not really good enough. And so we've been able to apply a lot of the stuff that we recommend people do on that site. Like we've had it on other sites, but we didn't have it on that site. Mostly because Authority Hacker runs a lot of marketing funnels and stuff that we're going to talk about in today's podcast. And so it's a bit more work than just transitioning a simple content site. It took some time. It took
6 months to do it all. It was a big site.
Yeah, it wasn't full time, but it was we had the designer start 6 months ago, and by the time it's like it took six months. So yeah, it took a long time. But I'm happy to see that by implementing our own recommendations on our own site, our rankings went up. I'm crossing my fingers because we're recording the podcast. I say that now, and tomorrow everything tanks. So I mean, at the time at which we're recording, we did better. And it's nice. It's nice to see validation. And on several sites, we've made these recommendations, these changes, the stuff that we recommend to people. And we have seen very positive ranking changes. And it's nice to, once again, get one more point of experience here and see that happen on that site, basically.
And we've all also been working on our funnel a lot, which is why it's kind of, I guess, led us to do this podcast today, just because it's been on the top of our mind. We've been doing lead magnets, opt-ins, all that kind of stuff again. So yeah, it's good as opportunity as any to share that with you guys, I think.
Yeah, and talking about lead magnet, let's just get that out of the way. I've actually recorded a new free training. So we used to have this webinar that was very long. But people like to watch freaking Instagram stories and TikTok stuff these days. So it's they don't really have the attention span of listening to my horrible French accent for 2 hours, even though you are listening to this podcast. But the thing is, we've made a much shorter training, that free training that actually gives you all the condensed tips we have updated for 2022 in a much, much shorter format. I think the video is 26 minutes, something like this. It's not too long. And it's still pretty hands-on, etc. So you can go and check it out on authorityhacker.com/free-training. And you get some kind of like, it's not paid, it's free. You can go check it out. And it's a new training that we offer to our subscribers. You need to subscribe to the email list for that. But it is brand new. That was one of the things that came with the website, and it's a big refresh on that. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's cool.
That's good.
So I think if you want to check it out, and that gives you an example of what a lead magnet is, which is something that you use to convince people to give you their email address, because we are going to be talking about lead magnets in today's episode. And I think we should just jump in and start talking about this funnel stuff. So I said it in the intro, but I want to repeat that there is some prerequisites to this. Like if you don't have a website, if you don't have traffic yet, etc., I don't think this is for you. I think you need to get working. You need to have your SEO under control, content creation, link building, all that stuff. You need to have figured out some initial monetization. I don't think most people should start with that, especially if you're a beginner. I think I could start with that now. Like I'm quite confident I could start a site just with like sales funnels right away. But I don't recommend beginners do that because it's a significant upfront investment in time before you make good money. You can make more money than affiliate, and it's interesting because you can go in niches that are less competitive than the big affiliate niches, but you do need to invest usually several weeks / months of work to make it work properly. And then if you make the wrong decision, if you read wrong, you will make zero, and you could be investing a lot of time and making zero. So this is my prerequisite. I want you guys to have your site under control. When you've done that, I think the best time to look at this is when you first grew your affiliate revenue, then you grew your info content, and you started putting ads on your site, and you're making like a few $1,000 a month from AdThrive, Mediavine, one of these networks. And you're like, okay, how do I make more money from my website? How do I monetize more? That's the perfect time to implement what we're going to be talking about today. It's been a while we didn't do like a proper advanced podcast, but I think people enjoy that as well when we don't just talk about beginners topics. And I think that is one of these. So this is going to be a sequential plan. There's going to be step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to talk about each step and our experience, examples, etc. Should I do the first step, or do you want to do the first step?
Sure, you can start.
All right, cool. So the first step is identifying info articles on your site that bring the most traffic. And so the goal really here is we want to build a funnel around an existing source of traffic. We don't want to have to be both building something that will sell to people and have to build the traffic for it. We want to tap into existing traffic and just find a better way to monetize it. You probably monetize these info articles with ads. So let's say you make, I always say 20 to 40 bucks. I guess it depends. Beginning of the year now, RPMs are a bit lower. But like, it could be 15, could be 12 or something. But you make this much. And how do we make more money from these info articles? And the thing is, you can't apply these funnel stuff to every type of queries. You kind of need to understand which queries would be suitable for like a small info product and which ones wouldn't. So I actually took some examples of queries. For example, let's say you ran for how to get rid of ants, and the pest niche is a really good niche for affiliate. But usually, I don't think would you buy a course on how to get or an ebook on how to get rid of ants? I guess if it's like a really big problem in your house and stuff, maybe.
Well, there's two situations there. Like if you have like an ant mound in your living room and you need it gone, you just call an exterminator. If every week you see a bunch of ants crawling through your kitchen and it's a slight annoyance, you still want to get rid of it, but maybe you just want to...
You go on Amazon, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You just buy some like ant trap or something. And so like that is not a query where I'd be like, I'm going to build info product, because usually there's either a service that does the big job, or there's an item that, essentially fixes the issue. And that's when you just monetize with affiliates, Amazon, something else, or lead gen. If you're doing that kind of services, and that does not work in this case. My next query is interesting. How to tell if my neighbor is a serial killer? Hey, that's it. I mean, maybe not a serial killer, but like people would be like, how to tell if my neighbor was convicted or was in prison or something, right? And so like, would you sell a course on that? Probably not. Probably what you would sell here is you would sell a background check service, right? And these are pretty good for affiliate as well. That's why I took that query, because actually it is a good affiliate query. Probably the search volume, I don't think serial killer is the one, but has been to prison or is a drug dealer was one that I saw before. These are pretty decent queries for affiliate, actually. But again, would you sell a course? Not really. You won't teach people to be private investigators. They just want to have that service do it for them, just consult public records probably, and they'll be able to tell. And so that's not a query where I would do that. Now, the next one I have is TRX exercises to lose weight. So TRX, if you don't know, is this suspension training thing where, you put it in your door or you attach it to a hook or something and you can pull and stuff and do that kind of stuff. It's pretty popular. If you don't know what it is, Google it. But it's an equipment. It's a piece of equipment. And the keyword would be TRX exercises to lose weight. And so here there's two intents, right? There's people want to exercise with their TRX and they want to lose weight. And anything, for example, that says to lose weight, I know I can sell an info product. I know you could be selling some kind of diet products or something, or exercise regimen or workout program or something like that for people to lose weight. Or you could sell a TRX course in that case, like suspension training, workout from home probably, because these are home workout equipment. But here, this is the kind of query where you could rank with a list post, and it's not necessarily extremely competitive to rank for it. It's also very suitable to sell info products, and that's one of these queries that, TRX has an affiliate program, but it's not very good, to be honest. Most people don't buy on trx.com. They go buy on Amazon or something like this, or they buy a copy, like a lot of copies of TRX these days that you can buy for much cheaper. So you won't make that much from that query, and it's typical of a pretty good query for affiliates. Another one that I put that was very basic was best ways to save money. Obviously, that you would probably have a longer tail version of that because this is very competitive. But you could be selling info products on personal finance, how to organize your savings, how to do all of that. People would pay for that kind of advice, provided you sell them properly. So
you're,
I think
you're looking at specific keywords and trying to identify what the kind of need is behind that. Wouldn't it make more sense just to look at your site as a whole and think, I have a site about money, about saving money, therefore I'll do something about that?
You can. It really depends how broad and or narrow your niche is, right? Because let's say you have home improvement. What is your product?
Yeah. We had
right?
this exact problem back when we ran Health Ambition. So it was a very broad health site, covered dieting and exercise and juicing and sleep and
exactly.
everything
so it's quite
else.
Tricky. And you can't really sell. You can sell to everyone, but your conversion rate is going to be pretty low because the intent is also. I do prefer, websites, the way the traffic breaks down is the top 10 pages get 80% of the traffic, and then the rest of the pages get the rest, And so if one of these top 10 pages is very targeted towards a product, I think it's worth building around. And then later, once you have proven your funnel, expand the content and make it a hub, and then build all the pages for all the queries related to that. Use that page as the middle of your hub, and then just blow your traffic up. Once you have proven you can make more money with that traffic, right? But I think the idea of picking one single already successful page is often good in the way that you're going to build a more specific product that is more likely to convert well. And then eventually, let's say you have a site that does home improvement, you could have 10, 15, 20 products. Josh, expert photography, right? He runs, he talks about all styles of photography, but he has products for every category. And so it's possible to do that. It's just that I think starting specialized and having something that has high conversion rate, it's not hard once you rank well for one page. Let's say you rank well for, which one of these? How to tell if my neighbor is a serial killer. Let's take that one. I like it. Let's say you rank well for that, and let's imagine that it has 5,000 searches per month, right? And you rank number one. It's quite easy data to make, how to tell if my neighbor is a drug dealer, how to tell if my neighbor is this, how to tell if my new girlfriend is a serial killer, how to tell if whatever. You find all the variations and you just build a hub of 100 pages that are all putting the same call to action.
But do you do that before or after you build the funnel?
After. We need to make some money first.
So this is really what you're trying to do here is find
that one page that starts me,
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Here's a pool of traffic. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6,000 visits per month that have a specific problem that I could sell an info product to. Let's just get started with that. And if I make money with that, I will expand my traffic. That's pretty much the goal. Yeah. So that's step one.
Just to play devil's advocate, wouldn't it make more sense, regardless of what else is on your site, just to put it site-wide?
You can. It really depends again, how wide you go, right? Let's say you have a gardening product. Let's say you have your home improvement site and you have a gardening section. You pick that one page, and you could put your gardening call to action on, let's say, the bathroom category, but you might be better off finding a high-paying affiliate offer and putting your call to actions to that, and you'll make more money than selling the gardening product to the people who search for bathroom information, you know?
Well, if we have like a photography site, for example, I know that you said there's like lots of different subsections of photography, subcategories, but wouldn't it make more sense just to pick like one general photography angle and go with that across the whole site?
You can. It really depends how your site is monetized already. Because for us, for example, we've talked about it many times when we use affiliate pop-ups, right? We don't necessarily build a list. We just people exit and they have a pop-up like, oh, save like $300 on your next photography lens, for example. That offer might make me, $1.50 EPC or something like this, like a pretty decent revenue. And I doubt the first version of your funnel that sells to an audience that is not primarily interested in your subtopic is going to make as much EPC if you're making like 1.5 EPC on that offer. So it really depends how well monetized you are.
I'm thinking in the case of,
maybe.
I'm thinking more in the case of people who are running ads, people who have the standard affiliate reviews and the rest of their site. They're not doing any pop-ups or anything else at the moment. And that space is just like there for the taking.
Again, the putting people in this funnel, and you need to let me go through the rest of the funnel because otherwise people don't visualize it because but they don't. It's like if you, let's say you have a pop-up that says, hey, sign up, you are going to redirect people after they opt in, and you are losing a potential affiliate sale here because you're redirecting people off the page. It's more intrusive than ads in that way when you're going to build that funnel. So like putting that call to action on your reviews, for example, it will reduce your affiliate income. So it only is worth it if your funnel is already well-oiled and makes money, for example. Which is why I like the idea of identifying info content pages that are doing a lot of traffic, focusing on these to start with. Then if you're making good money, like it's literally 30 minutes to expand it to the rest of your site, right? So it's like, it's not really the concern initially, it's not to make millions. The concern is how do we build a little machine that makes money on autopilot, and then how do we make the machine bigger? That's pretty much it. And that's why taking your lowest revenue pages to start this process is the best way to maintain your existing revenue, not gamble with your traffic that already makes you money, and try to do better without losing too much if it doesn't work out, which is possible, right? Anyway, we are done with that. Once you have identified one of these top pages, I think one of the things that you want to see is there already info products that answer that query? So I took another example here. Like I took dog doesn't walk on the leash properly as a keyword. Like, oh, my dog doesn't walk. Like people Google that as a question. You have that info article on your pet site. There is a really good affiliate program for dog training on the online.trainer.com, but this guy is called like Trainer Dan or something like this. Pretty popular on ClickBank, pays quite well. And so I like to sign up as an affiliate for this because what these guys are going to do is they are going to be the substitute for my product before I build one so that I can test my traffic on an info product and see if they buy before I have to build anything. And usually you want to find something like that. If you don't, you're going to have to build a product and you can skip that part. But if you can dig around for a product that answers that, it's a good idea to start by being an affiliate for this, basically.
Yeah, it's a huge time investment. Even if you build a very small course, a very small ebook, it's a huge time investment building it. And there's a good chance you'll get the sort of product market fit wrong. That's why we advise like try and promote someone else's first, see if it converts. If it does, then you can go later do it yourself. But we'll talk about that.
And the way we're going to promote it is not, you can put call to actions on your page if you want, but the thing we're going to try to do is we're going to try to capture people's emails, and we're going to be promoting to them both through the thank you page. So when they opt in, we're going to, and there's multiple ways they're going to opt in. There's the pop-ups that we mentioned before. So page loads, bam, pop-up in your face. I know people hate it, but it works. Exit intent pop-up as well. So we usually do page load plus exit intent. And then you can do inline call to action as well. So let's say at the end of your blog post or before your conclusion, you could be building a box on like GenerateBlocks, for example, and have an opt-in there. And then when people opt in, you redirect them on the thank you page that say, hey, thank you for opting in. We'll start emailing you our email newsletter soon. By the way, check out this offer is discounted 40% or whatever you have that can be offer to people. Usually these affiliate offers have coupons you can use to promote, etc. So use that on your thank you page, and basically your affiliate link is on the thank you page, and hopefully people click through and hopefully people buy. But then after that, we're going to have a follow-up of emails as well, going to people trying to sell them the product for like 5, 6, 7 days usually. And that is going to be generating the bulk of your income. So that is how this works. But for people to give you their email, there's a piece of work that comes before that. And that is building a lead magnet. So, at the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that free training I did. That's a lead magnet, right? I created I hope, pretty cool video. That
it doesn't have to be a video.
Yeah. In this case, it's a video that convinces people to give their email to us so that, when we do the next product launch, we can let you know about this. And then this is part of our funnel, for example. And so you don't have to make a video, as Mark said. The easiest way to build lead magnets is to use Canva to build a presentation on Canva and then just make a list lead magnet. So like 7 tips or 5 tools, like for example, on Auto, I love to do that. I love to do like 5 affiliate marketing tools, 5 SEO tools, whatever that you probably don't know about. And one slide was one tool. You put the logo on the left, you put a short description, and actually you can put even affiliate links on these lead magnets. But people love these kind of lists, and you just make one intro slide, telling you what the lead magnet is. I like to make one who we are slide after that, just kind of introducing the website and what you believe in, whatever, just to look a bit professional. And then after that, you give your list. And at the end, your last slide is actually a call to action to your affiliate offer. So let's say we have the dog one, for example. It'd be like 5 exercises you can do daily with your dog for him to be more obedient, for example. That would be my lead magnet. So I would have intro slide, who we are, how we work with vets, blah, 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 etc. Then my 5 tips, 1 tip per slide, maybe with a photo on each one or something like this. Can use stock photos or whatever. And the last slide would be like, hey, if you want a full course on making your dog more obedient, click here to check it out, save 30%, whatever the coupon is I have for my offer. And that is it. So I will have that lead magnet. So that's a PDF usually. And then that is what I'm going to be promoting on my pop-up. So I'd be like, hey, struggling with your dog, get our 5 tips, 5 exercises, to do daily with your dog to improve his obedience. And people will put their email, thank you page, go check out they can go check out the offer, but also the lead magnets promotes it. And after that, for 4 or 5 days, we're going to start sending them emails, basically. Is it clear so far? I know it's a lot of moving pieces, so it's
yeah.
Okay, cool. So you do that. Once you have that, you build your pop-ups. For the tools for pop-ups, I know people want to know about tools. I could do a best lead generation tools, actually, lead magnet. Yeah.
I just want to say in pop-ups, because I know a lot of marketers hate those things because they see them all the time. There's a saying we always quote, is you are not your audience. So if you have any inclination against doing pop-ups because you don't like them or you think your audience will hate them, try it. Because
they will hate it, but you will make money.
they work. People are kind of used to closing them. It's not that big a deal, but they work. People opt in. We have years of data. Any site that runs any kind of funnel does them because they work.
Even without, affiliate pop-ups are really, really successful as well. We've made some of our best affiliate commissions using pop-ups for on our websites. So it's if you want to make money with you're providing content for free. I think you're allowed to put some commercial stuff on your content, provided you do a good job with your content, provided you do it ethically, provided you try to give value to people. I think it's fair for you to try to make some money out of this. So I wouldn't feel bad provided you do a good job with the rest of your site. In terms of tools, there's multiple tools you can use. The cheapest one will be Kadence conversion. So it's basically the Optin plugin by Kadence. It's $67 per year, I think. So
do you have to use the Kadence theme for that, or does it work with any?
I don't think so, no. You just and it's built on Gutenberg, so you don't have to use a page builder or anything like that. So it's pretty okay. It's still basic, it doesn't have as many options as the more advanced stuff. More advanced stuff would probably be OptinMonster and ConvertBox. ConvertBox is pretty expensive one-off, but you don't have to pay again. You pay, I think it's $300 or $400, but then you never pay again. And then OptinMonster will charge you monthly, but $60 or something like this. So over time, OptinMonster becomes the more expensive ones. ConvertBox is kind of the value if you're really doing pop-ups a lot. And if you really want to just get started, maybe Kadence is probably where you want to get started and then not spend too much money, like $67 for your first year, just to get your feet wet or something. So that's pretty much the tools I would recommend. Inline CTAs, so if you're putting a box in your content that promotes stuff, I would probably just build it on GenerateBlocks. We use GenerateBlocks to build all our content now. I would either build it there, or you can, for example, ConvertBox, we can do these boxes. But the problem is, like, I like building it inside WordPress because then the style matches the CSS of your site and it picks up all the styling and it feels more branded to put these call to actions than when you build it in a third-party tool like ConvertBox. It looks a little bit different quite often, or it's hard to make it look exactly in brand. So I prefer building these, and then if you pop a pop-up, just the pop-up is built on ConvertBox, not the thing that is inline, basically. So that's the tools. We mentioned it, the triggers. You want to talk about the triggers?
Yeah, so there's several different types you can use. Honestly, you can A/B test these till the cows come home, but the important thing is just do it, and you can iterate on it later. We use welcome mats, which is like the full screen thing on desktop and on mobile.
You're wrong. So welcome mats are different from full screen pop-ups. We use a full screen pop-up right now. So welcome mat, it scrolls down. Like you load the page, you see the page content, and it scrolls down to cover it. And then you can use your mouse wheel to scroll down for it to disappear. Whereas a full screen pop-up, you need to click on the cross button on the top right. And so these are different. Basically, the more intrusive pop-ups are, the better they convert. So,
but the more pissed off your users become. So it's a fine balance there.
Exactly. But go ahead.
Yeah, you need to also consider the difference between desktop and mobile. Like generally, you just don't have as much space on a mobile screen than you do desktop. So your messaging tends to be much shorter. You also have different sort of trigger mechanisms like exit intent, which is when someone's moving their mouse towards the X or the close the tab button. It detects that and it'll load a pop-up. That only works on desktop because on mobile there's no mouse. So yeah, I would tend to build them separately and sort of design them separately. Most of these tools, I know ConvertBox and OptinMonster is the one that we've used in the past. Most of them have pretty good templates you can base off of.
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah.
Change the colors, stick your logo in, or stick a graphic in, and put all the copy in. You don't have to really worry too much about getting an extra 1%, 2%, 3% out of your A/B test or your design here.
I mean, at the beginning, you're not really trying to optimize anyway. You can A/B test on all these tools, etc., and you should eventually. But that's not the goal initially. The goal initially is okay, can I just build this little machine that makes some money? And if it does make some money, how do we make more money with it? So don't bother with A/B test at the beginning. Don't bother with all that. You can start with a template of one of these tools. Just to make it short, the stuff that has worked best for us, on-page load pop-ups work better than delayed. On-page load plus exit intent together work really well on desktop, actually. Again, people might be annoyed, but it works really well, and you can't deny the numbers. Full screen pop-ups work better than welcome mat, work better than pop-up where you see the content behind in general. And in the past, it worked better when you had a two-step pop-up. So you'd be get the bonus, and people would click, then it would show the form. Now actually showing the form directly works better for us. So that's just a few of the A/B test results that we've seen consistently. We've done it multiple times, and every single time the results were this. So that's what I would recommend if you are setting up a pop-up. So that's what you can do. You could, if you wanted to promote your lead magnet, you could also make an opt-in page. So it's called a squeeze page. If you have never built a funnel, or if you've heard about that but you didn't know, it's just a page with promoting your lead magnet. So usually a headline, maybe a little bit of text, an image or video, and then the form to put your email so that you put it to get the bonus, and then you get a thank you page, which in your case is going to be promoting your affiliate offer. So you could be making a squeeze page, and that squeeze page could be promoted by retargeting people who visited the blog post, so that you could be showing this on Facebook ads, on Google ads, etc. You don't have to do that at the beginning. It's probably only going to be profitable if the offer is very high converting, or if it pays a lot of money. If it's an average
honestly,
offer,
I got a question putting that in this podcast, to be honest. I don't think that retargeting a lead magnet is it's going to work at all. If you're
it
promoting,
depends what you want.
If you're promoting a small ticket item, which you're most likely going to be doing here, or especially an affiliate as product as an affiliate where you're only getting, X% as the commission. I don't think the maths would work on that.
I agree, but my goal here again is not to make the most money possible, is to validate the concept. And if you want to do that, I want to see how people react to my lead magnet, for example. And like, let's say you have some traffic, but not enough. Let's say you get like 10 leads a day or something. It's going to be slow. Like 10 leads a day is too slow. Yeah, you probably need like 30, 40, 50 to start having, daily sales and stuff happening, and it's not taking forever. Well, I'd personally, if I was building a funnel, be putting a little bit of money down to retarget these people for like $10 a day or something, just to double my number of leads maybe or something like this. So like, and then get a bit faster of an idea of like how well my funnel is doing, even if I'm not making any money from this. So even if I'm losing a little bit, I'm just looking to like make sure I don't waste my time here. And anyway, if you're spending a lot of time on this, you're spending money basically. It's kind of the same thing. You could be making money doing something else. So it's like, I'd rather sometimes, that's why I put retargeting with a question mark next to it in the notes, if you notice, because it's like, it's like, I don't think everyone should do this. But it's something that is on the table if you're like on the edge in terms of how much traffic you have for this. Do you want to talk about the emails after that? Because obviously after people opt in, they need to do emails.
Yeah, so you need to, first of all, we didn't really talk about that, but like deliver the lead magnet somehow. The simplest way to do it is to use email autoresponder service and just put a link to the lead magnet on Google Drive or wherever in there. You can also
you can even upload it on your WordPress site. If it's a PDF, you put it there and you have a link. You can just send that.
You can also have that when you opt in, so the pop-up can redirect you to a thank you page, which has it on there if you want as well. So they can just get it straight away.
I disagree with that because my focus on my thank you page. Well, I don't care about that. I don't even care about fake emails, because I'd rather my thank you page send as much traffic as possible to the affiliate offer right away. So my thank you page is pretty much a pre-sales page here, and I'm trying to get people to click. And so if I give them other options, you get less affiliate clicks and you probably make less money. So you know what? If you put a fake email, you don't deserve my lead magnet, So that's pretty much it. But some people might put a fake email but still click through and buy. And in that case, I wouldn't want to distract them. And also they might go back and give me a real email after they didn't get it.
So in terms of that, you want to obviously deliver the lead magnet, but then very quickly, like less than 24 hours afterwards, you want to be emailing them some more information about the offer. Now, how do you do that? It's probably not the best idea just to go in and say, hey, here's this offer, you should go buy it. There's some kind of like sales and marketing strategies that you can use. The PASS framework, product agitate solution, is a common one where you sort of state the problem, what it is. So if it's a dog training one, your dog won't listen, he's always running away. Then you agitate that. So you say, okay, what are the implications of that? What are the fears that you might have of this thing getting worse? So maybe your dog runs away and doesn't come back, or he runs across a road and something happens, or there's all sorts of scary stuff that can happen here. And you talk about that on a sort of emotional level. And then the S is the solution. So how does this product solve that problem which you've stated and you've agitated? And what benefits are there going to be when you have that solution? Benefits as opposed to features. When we talk about features, it's always like, well, there's 70 pages in this book, or it contains this, and this. But the benefits are, well, what does that actually do for you? It makes your dog behave better. It makes you happier. It makes your dog happier. It makes you healthier. It gives you more freedom to go where you want. All these kinds of things. So you focus on the emotional language rather than the logical language in that sense. Another one that works quite well is case studies. Obviously depends on the
testimonials
niche.
as well, yeah.
But I'm just thinking for Authority Hacker, like we have quite a few case studies of sites we've sold. We haven't sort of really made them into lead magnets, although it's not a bad idea in some cases. You talk about how I went from zero to hero and did this thing, whatever it is, build a site, or I don't know, build a classic car.
Yeah, you can do also testimonials for this. Like you can do testimonials first. You're selling this dog training thing. You can show like, this dog didn't listen, and then now look at them. They're like doing something really cool, and she won this dog obedience competition in Cambridge or something. Like have the story, the customer journey of someone who used the product and giving that to people is really powerful. Usually it's better to get other people to say it's great rather than you saying it's great.
Another option you can go is the gain logic fear model. Ryan Deiss sort of popularized this in the machine book. God, this is going back now. It's like 10 years old.
It was a course initially, but
yeah. So basically, you have the gain, which is what are the benefits you're going to get? What are the emotional benefits? What are you going to receive from this? You have the logic, which is, okay, how is this valuable to you from a logical perspective? What's your return on investment? And by differentiating those two things, you're talking first to the left side of the brain, the creative, emotional side, and then the second to the logical side that backs it up and says, yes, this is a good thing for me to buy. And then finally, this is probably the most important part, the fear section. So this is all your FOMO, fear of missing out, the product's closing. What are the implications of not doing this? What could go wrong? That kind of thing. And we use that quite a lot. We still do in some funnels. And it is very, very effective, very simple as well to do. 3 emails. And yeah, the important thing is not to make them super long. Just get it done, get it started, and get it going. And you can kind of iterate as you go. This gives you a basic framework to go on. And yeah, the goal with selling something here is to get people over the line, not to kind of reinvent their whole life. I mean, the people who are not interested, they're not even going to read the emails. They're just like, okay, yeah, I don't care. The people who are kind of interested and are like on the fence, and there'll be a lot of people like on the fence or close to the fence, and you just need to get a few people over there. That's all you're trying to do.
Yeah, there's 2 things. First of all, it's going to be a new style of writing. If you've never done this, you need to write a lot more conversationally. Like there's no keywords in here. There's nothing like that. You don't need to worry about that. When you write for SEO, you need to write fact-based stuff. You answer questions and you give people's answers to that question. Whereas in emails, it's much more about telling stories and taking people and using your personality quite a bit more. You can check the newsletters I've done on Authority Hacker, but it's full of like memes and shitty jokes and stuff like that. But it's on purpose, and people seem to like it so far. Another thing I wanted to emphasize is that don't be afraid to email people, because people will be like, oh my God, I don't want to bother people. Email people every freaking day for like 5 or 6 days at least. And second, scarcity outsells any copywriter. Having scarcity on your offer. And so usually if you have, let's say, a coupon page, let's say you're an affiliate for this Doggy Dan guy, this dog trainer, and let's say I don't remember his offer. Let's say his normal course costs $200, but you have a discount page for $99. It's discounted 50%, let's say. You can use a tool like Deadline Funnel to make that discount time limited. So what you can do is you can say, in that tool, you can say, if people within 5 or 6 days of opting into that email click on my link, then send them to the $99 page, the discount page that they gave you as an affiliate. But if they miss that deadline, send them to the $200 page. And it's going to be the same link inside the email, right? And so what you can do from there is you can essentially create a deadline/product launch for people, which is going to, and you tell them this discount is going away, go and pick it up because you're going to miss it out. And if you use that tool, if you don't lie about it, you are doing this, because if people do use that link after, the price will be higher because they won't be able to access that other URL. And every link on your email is going to do that same redirect. Yes, there is ways to go past that. And if you clear your cookies and you use a VPN and you do all of this, etc., you can eventually go through. But most people will not do that. Most people will not think about that. And you can do a pretty legit sell and use scarcity to sell. And I think scarcity is one of the most powerful way of selling to people, and it should be used, especially if you're a beginner and not very good copywriter. It can be a lever that doesn't require talent that will help your sales quite a lot, actually, I would say.
Let's talk about tech for delivering emails like autoresponder. So we use and we have used ActiveCampaign for a very long time. I'm not sure if I'd recommend that for someone starting out.
It's expensive.
It's quite a advanced, like complete solution, and you won't need 90% of their features. So would something like GetResponse do the job, do you think, for the...
I would not use GetResponse anymore. GetResponse is old now. I would use MailerLite. MailerLite is pretty good. They have automations, a bit like ActiveCampaign, etc. They have a free plan. Actually, up to 1,000 subscribers, it's free. You don't even need to pay anything.
Well, there you go.
So, and then after that, the price is one of the lowest in the industry with pretty decent features. The only problem is because they are the cheapest, you are also sharing the email sending servers with the shittiest email senders in the world. And so deliverability is not the absolute best on this. And if you have money, then I would recommend going for something a little bit more upscale, like ConvertKit or something like this, maybe something like this. But if you're getting started and you just want to test the water on this stuff, I mean, yeah, 1,000 subscriber is free, and then and you can send 12,000 emails per month, which is enough. And then after that, it's $15 per month up to 2,500 subscribers. So it's not too expensive to get started. Yeah, but deliverability you will pay a little bit of that, because obviously the people who care the least about email are all on that platform because it's cheaper.
It's not too difficult to switch from one platform to another when you have a simple funnel setup, like just
if you don't have to rebuild everything, it's fine. Yeah. So I would say that. I'd say MailerLite is that, and it has a lot of integrations. All the tools we mentioned for pop-ups integrate with MailerLite as well, so you don't need anything custom with Zapier or something like this. So it's pretty good. And so once you set that up with a high-paying offer, you just sit and wait. you just wait and you just look, and you're like, how much? Like, you need to monitor your EPC for the different parts of the funnel. So I don't know, it depends on the tracking that is offered by the affiliate offer you're using, because obviously you can't have your conversion pixel most of the time. So you need to rely on the affiliate platform. So you need to use sub-IDs on your affiliate links. And you start tracking your EPC on your thank you page. You start tracking your EPC on your emails. And you get an idea of like, okay, how much do I make? And usually, I mean, if you... It's obviously a calculation, but let's say you have like a 50% commission on a dog training program, right? If you manage, like, that's when you're like, do I want to stay an affiliate and leave it as it is? Because that's an option, right? You don't even have to have your own product. We're just starting funnels here, not products. Do I want that? Am I better off starting another one of these high-paying affiliate funnels on another page or something like that? So am I better off spending my time expanding my SEO traffic for that funnel? Or do I want to, if you get 50% commission, double my revenue by owning the product, right? And usually you can more than double your revenue, because that's when you own the product and things like that, that's when you make quite a bit more money. You can, retargeting now becomes very valuable for these kind of products and things like that. New sources of traffic, you can have your own affiliates that make sales for you so that you take a cut of their sales, basically. So it goes beyond that, but you basically have that crossroad where you need to decide, is this worth staying just an affiliate of that high-paying offer? And sometimes if you're doing well, you can also negotiate higher commissions. You can go to the guys and be like, hey guys, I could be building my own product, or you guys could be paying me more, up to you. And that's it. I mean, that's pretty much how it works, right? It's like, you say it in nicer terms usually, but that's how it works. And so so once you've made that decision, either you stay the affiliate or you build your product. Once you decide you want to build your own product, which is going to be the biggest time undertaking, and you should not underestimate that. It's one of these things where you estimate it's going to take 3 weeks and it's going to take double, triple, something like this. It takes a really long time. I recommend you either do video courses if you're able to do that, because that's pretty much the most popular format of info products these days. Or you can just do ebooks, but just know that you will sell ebooks for less money than you will sell video courses. And that's usually accepted. So it kind of depends what you want here and what has worked for you as your initial offer if you do an ebook or video. You want to say something now?
I think we maybe got a little bit ahead of ourselves and forgot one of the most important sections in the whole podcast, which is tracking. So you kind of want to understand, is what you're doing actually working? And you need to look at the whole funnel to understand that. So obviously the amount of displays that your pop-up's getting is going to be determined by the traffic on the page itself. But a good conversion rate is anything really north of 1.5% is pretty decent. Anything over 5%, so that's 5 out of every 100 visitors
For
to the
sales.
page.
Oh, no, for Optin, sorry.
5 out of every 100 visitors to the page opting into your email list is very, very good. Now, bear in mind as well that sometimes you have multiple pop-ups on a page. So like you kind of have to add up the numbers and jig it a little bit that way. But in terms of emails sent, if someone's opting in for a very specific thing on a very specific page, then you're going to get a very high open rate, probably above 50% in that case. If you go and do what I was saying earlier and just put this opt-in site-wide, it'll be much lower, right? People will not be interested in everything you're sending them. So, it just depends there. But maybe half the people will open your email, and of those, when you measure open rate or click-through rate of an email, it's people clicking on the link. It's normally measured in the number of people that were sent the email, and then how many of them clicked. Again, you should expect north of 10% if you're doing well. If these numbers are really low and 5% of people open your email and 1% are clicking, then you probably have either a problem with your email copy, or just like the product angle fit is off, and you might want to think again. And then that's when you look at conversions. And
I want to add one thing on these numbers is like, as your email list gets bigger and as your email list gets older, these numbers tend to go down. So it's like they tend to be quite high at the beginning. I think the numbers you gave is good for a new list. As you get older and bigger, it's hard to maintain these numbers, and don't kill yourself if you don't hit these numbers.
Yeah, the people who are naturally interested in what you have to say are going to flock to you quite quickly. I think in the early days on Authority Hacker, we were getting around 8% conversion on our opt-in pop-ups.
Yes.
I mean, if we had that now, that would be like amazing.
Good old days.
But we're talking. I mean, some of them closer to sort of like 1.5%, 2%.
Yeah. But like, I'm talking more about the email opens. The opens get like lower as, if someone's been on your list for like 3-4 years.
So I'm talking, if we let's say we have a 1 week funnel where we're doing this like pass framework and a couple scarcity emails and all that for something they've just opted in for. I'm just talking about the people going through that for the first time.
Yeah. Then it goes down with time usually.
Yeah.
As people lose engagement naturally as they've been here for a while. Definitely tracking is more your side. That's why I forgot about it. But yeah, so once you track these things, and I guess it's good for troubleshooting as well. Like usually when we have problems with our funnels, like that's what we go through. We go through these numbers. We try to see which ones drop the ball, and usually,
fundamentally, you want to know, is what I've done working? And you may have a shit ton of sales and be like, oh, this is great. I need to keep doing this, or I need to build my own product. Cool. But most likely you'll be somewhere in the middle. It's like, well, I've got a few sales and a few conversions, but like, I'm not sure if I expand this is it worthwhile? So this is why it's important.
Usually when we have a problem with our funnel, like what we do with Mark is we go through each step of the funnel. So how many people get on the web page? How many people put their email in the email? How many people open each email? How many people hit the sales page? How many people click to the checkout? How many people finish the checkout? And we usually quite quickly find 1 or 2 steps that has an issue. And very often it's a tech issue, right? Like, because these funnels tend to have a lot of integrations. Like, you have your pop-up tool that is integrated on your site, that is integrated to your email tool, that is integrated to the affiliate platform if you're doing an affiliate thing, or to your own thing, and then that is integrated to the checkout. And so things drop and things break quite often. And so like having that mentality of understanding each step and checking the numbers is a really, really good way to understand what's going on and troubleshoot. Because sometimes you're like this far from greatness, but you need to find that one thing that didn't work out and you fix it and boom, it just explodes. So I agree, it would be a missed opportunity to not do that. Let's talk about, should we really talk about creating products? I think we're 50 minutes into that podcast. If you decide to create a product, let us know in the comments, and we'll make another podcast on creating products, because that is probably a whole thing on its own. But what we can talk about
let's
quickly,
let's give a TLDR version just so people kind of know what we're talking about here. So
go ahead.
Imitate what works. So if you're promoting another product as an affiliate, create another product that does largely the same thing. Add your own personal flair on it, make it a bit better. If they have an ebook, consider doing a video course instead. But whatever their sales angle is, whatever their price point is, you know that's working. You've got that data already. So you want to, broadly speaking, replicate that, but just make it your own. So you make all the commission. If you're not promoting an affiliate product to begin with, then you have to test the product out. You have to build your own product to test things out. Then you want to be very careful not to spend too much time, because product creation is a black hole, and it will consume your entire existence for years if you're not very careful with it. So
and devour your soul in the process.
Aim for a sort of minimum viable product. It doesn't have to be super polished. Just get the good 80-20. What's the good information that's going to make a difference to people? Get it in there and deliver it to people. The first info
you can make small products. Small products is fine. Like it's 5-10 videos or something, it's fine. Or like a small ebook of like 40 pages. It's not worse than like a really long blog post, I think. And people are happy to pay for that. And you'd be surprised. The first info products we sold were literally repackaged blog posts. And nobody complained.
We made a juicing recipe book, and it was literally all the free juicing recipes that were on our site. We got like an intro and like some, made it flow a bit better and stuff. And just gave all that to designer, and they put some images and made a nice kind of like heading and page number section and all that. And that was it. We sold that. We made it in a PDF and sold that. I think these days, this was probably going back almost 10 years now, but these days you maybe have to be a little bit better. But honestly, like shooting a few videos with your iPhone or whatever cell phone camera you have at home,
it's enough. Yeah.
Talking about a thing, it's enough. Really, it is.
And you can use tools like Teachable, Thinkific, etc. to do that delivery if you want to do that, because then you don't have to deal with tech. Like we have our own member area on AutoHacker. It's a bit of a headache to run your own member area, let's be honest. I would not recommend you start that way. I would recommend you start with using one of these platforms. I think some of them are like very, very cheap on the first plan. So it's good enough to try.
Thrivecard's an interesting option these days, because it's a one-off too, right? Fee, so you don't pay monthly. But they've also introduced this like product delivery side, member area, product way to like view a course. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so overall, that's how I would get started. I think if you guys want a more detailed podcast on product creation, we can talk about that, obviously. We have a lot of courses on Authority Hacker. We have all this stuff. We've done it a lot, not only on Authority Hacker, actually, we've done it on several sites. So we could talk more about that. It's just usually that topic is not that interesting to people. So if you want to hear about that, just drop us comments on YouTube, just below there. Drop us a like while you're here, and we will do that podcast for you. Any final words of wisdom? I want to say, no, I have final words of wisdom. You know what? This is
no words for me. Didn't you say anything?
Stop talking. I want to say that the product creation side of things might scare people off. And I think that is why a lot of people don't do these funnels. But I want to highlight the fact that the whole first part of what we talked about was building funnels with other people's products and kind of like finding new ways to monetize your information content using email, using all of that. If you do that, you're not just doing that one funnel. You're starting to build an email list. You can start emailing your new blog posts. These blog posts, if they're monetized with ads, you're going to make some money as well. You can do all that. It starts a lot of mechanics that are going to be hugely beneficial to your site. You're building an actual audience you can talk to. You're learning how to do email marketing, etc. And you can do that without creating a product using high-paying affiliate offers, provided you have the right topics on your site. And then after that, as I said, you can expand the content if you have that specific lead magnet. Overall, I think it's a really good starting point when you are done. Not done, but like when it's rolling, when you're doing affiliate reviews on one side, you're doing your info content on the other side. If you want to go to the next level, that's the next level. That's where you start. And then eventually you get to the products, but you don't have to get there right away. So I know a lot of people are going to be listening to this podcast and be in this situation. If you want to figure out what the next level of online business is, this is your starting point. It doesn't mean you'll probably make more from your reviews at the beginning, but if you grind it like the rest, eventually it can actually outpace the other stuff. So highly recommended that you try this even if you are doing quite well already, just for the sake of diversification. That's my final words of wisdom. Thank you, Mark, for listening to me.
You're welcome.
Okay, you can have your final words of wisdom if you want now.
No. You've taken the limelight. I'm good.
All right, fine. All right, well, thank you for listening to this podcast then, and we'll see you in 2 weeks when we're back for another episode. Bye. You know what I always do? I always forget this thing. It goes inside and it looks like shit. It's like half of my test videos are like that.